Hello students, we were learning about the education or expansion of education in India, and we have learned about the native education that was there and the initiatives taken by the Orientalists for the spread of Oriental education in India. And we have also come to know that for the purpose of administration, the Fort William College was established in the year 1800 by Lord Wellesley, and this college was giving training training the government officials, means those persons who will take up the administrative job. Here they were given education, or they were given training about the Indian languages, because that was needed for administration. And the students here, the company officials who were given training over here, they came to know about the Oriental education, the languages that were there, and we find that some important books like Pratapaditra Charitra, Lipimala by Ram Basu, Rajabali, then Tota Kamini, Raja Krishna Chandra Rao Charitram by Lochan Mukherjee. All these books helped the company officials or the company employees to know about the native languages and also about the culture, the Oriental culture. And these books were written by persons who were all teachers of the Fort William College. So this part of the efforts by the company was for administrative purposes. They had established the company and the college, and they were giving training to the company employees in these languages. So it was mainly meant for the spread of the Oriental education. And now we see that there was a conflict in the society regarding the education that would be expanded or that would be given to the Indians. That is, there were the society, or we can say, is divided into two groups. One who were supporters of Western education, another who were supporters of the Oriental or the native education that was there. And this tug of war, this conflict between the two, between the East and the West, that is, which group or which type of education is going to be introduced in India, came to be known as the evangelical movement. So what is this evangelical movement? It was the conflict or a tug of war between the East and the West on the issue of introduction of Western education. That is, they were not able to decide which form of Western education should be given to the Indians or not. There were some groups who were supporting Western education, and there were another group of people who thought that Western education was not meant for the people of India. So this tug of war or this conflict came to be known as the evangelical movement. And we find that the enlightened middle class, they were the enlightened ones because they had got education. They were in support of Western education because they thought that this Western education is going to uplift the condition of the people in India, and so they took up the measures, or they took up the initiative for the expansion of Western education in India. And during this time, we find that efforts were taken up by individuals for the spread of Western education. And we find that Raja Ram Mohan Roy, he had written a letter to Lord Amherst where he had said that the Sanskrit system of education was not good for the people of India. They needed the Western education which will be able to improve the condition of the people. And so a column was published also in newspapers. Columns were written that the Western education or English education should be given, and so the villagers should contribute, because many were of the opinion that native or Oriental education that was given to the people, they were all given by the higher caste. That is, the Brahmins could only go there, and the Brahmins were only giving the education. That was not meant for the people of all sections of the society. So it was limited. It was all the people was not getting the benefit of education. So there were many who believed that Western education would be given, and so there should be some measures, some initiatives on the part of the people also to take up or to settle or to help in the spread of Western education. And with this we find that the Bengalis were the first to take interest in English education. The people of Bengal, they took an interest in Western education, and they took methods or they took steps for the expansion of education. We find that Darapana, he was for acquainted with the English language. There were people who were Eurasian gentlemen. They used to come and give them English. He founded the English school in Russia. So people who belong to the higher sections of the society, they were getting the Western education. They came in contact with, or they came to know about English education, and they also took up measures for the spread of Western education. Like you see that Motilal Srilal Amratala, he appointed a private tutor in the family for English education. Again, we find that due to the efforts of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, the Hindu College was established in 1817, and this Hindu College was later known as the, or it came to be known as the Presidential College in the year 1855. So this college was meant for higher education, and there were Indians who were supporting or who were helping in the foundation of these kinds of institutions. And it is said that with the help of not only Raja Ram Mohan Roy was there were other people like he was the judge of the Supreme Court, Badrinath Mukherjee, all were there who had taken the initiative in the establishment of the Hindu College in the year 1817. And we find that David Hare, he founded a higher English school in Calcutta. This school, that is the higher English school established by David Hare, is now known as the Hare School. And so we find that efforts were taken by the people to spread or to establish schools and colleges, and two English schools were founded in Bhawanipur in 1800 and another in Chinsuka in 1824. So schools where English education was given was set up, and the Calcutta School Good Society was formed in 1817, and the Calcutta School Society was founded in 1818. These two organizations were looking after the system of education that was given, that is where the textbooks are available, for the availability of textbooks for the schools, and to improve the kind of education that was given. So for these purposes, these two organizations were set up. So what we see that Western education, firstly there was a tug of war, there was this evangelical movement on the issue of Western education. There was one section of the society who believed that Western education was good for the people. Another believed that no, it was not meant for the people of India. Persons like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, he was particularly in favor of Western education, and he had taken measures or initiative for the spread of Western education. And we find that in Bengal, the people were interested in English education. We find that Rabindranath, he had got acquainted with English language when there was an Eurasian gentleman who used to teach in these families who were well-known sections of the society. They were giving education. So English education, though it was confined to a particular section of the society, but still people were getting the benefits of the Western education, and they were taking up English education, and they were also helping in the spread of education. Raja Ram Mohan Roy, then we find that Badrinath Mukherjee, Gurudev Mukherjee, Madhusudan Datta, all these people, were there behind the establishment of the Hindu College, which came up in the year 1870. And the Hindu College had some renowned people, were the teachers of the Hindu College. Then we find that David here establishes the higher English school in Calcutta, which is now known as the Hare School. And by 1800 and 1824, we see that English schools were set up not only in Calcutta but in other parts of Bengal also. And in 1817 and 1818, two organizations came up which was looking after the distribution of textbooks and the development of these English schools. Again, we see that Henry Louis Vivian de Rousseau, he was a teacher, he was a young teacher of Hindu College. He had established 6 morning schools for the spread of English education. And not only in Bengal, in other parts of India also, the English education was spreading. And we find that Sir Ahmed, he founded the English school in 1818 in Ghazipur of Uttar Pradesh. So, not only in Bengal, in other parts of India like in Uttar Pradesh or in Delhi, Agra, in these places also, English education schools meant for the expansion of English education was set up, and they were coming up, and there was we see that up to 1823 maximum expansion of English education had taken place through private enterprises. That is not the government, the colonial government was not taking the initiative. It was due to the efforts of the private individuals that English education or centers of English education was coming up in the society. So, from this part, the evangelical movement is important for you. Along with that, again, the dates and the names of the institutions are also very important for you all. So, read this part thoroughly. In our next video, we will take up the next portion of the spread of Western education in India. We will come to know about the efforts taken by the missionaries and also what the colonial government was doing for the expansion of education. Thank you.